Onisan, Onisan, Onision. That's it, Onision. And why exactly is it that we would want to talk about Onision today?
Someone asked me to make a video about my Air Force experience. For videos like these, I have a short attention span, so let's just get to the negative.
Well, I appreciate that he's saving his time by getting straight to the fucking negative shit. But seriously, how bad could it be?
I shit all over the military.
Holy shit, what did he just say?
I shit all over the military.
Most Lethal here, Saturday night, sitting around at Most Lethal Studios, watching some videos on the interwebs, and I come across the video from Onision. I'm having a hard time with his name. For some reason, it looks like Orison or Oniisan or Onion or some shit, but Onision is the correct way to say it. I don't know why anyone does that. I see it all the time, everywhere I go. I got motherfuckers using shit for their websites. They got these websites, these stickers, these laminated vinyl on the back of their car with their website, and it's like 30 characters long, and I can't even make it out because they're using some fucking font that I can't read. Like, you know, I don't have time to sit there and decrypt whatever the fuck your website is, or your alias or handle, in this case, Onision. Anyways, so, you know, hanging out Saturday, watching videos, and I came across this video from Onision entitled My Bad Experience in the USAF. And in brackets it says United States Air Force. And I was like, wow, who has a bad experience in the United States Air Force? We call it the chair force, right? Like, it's so cush. But apparently, it's super fucking hard. I had no idea personally. I mean, I know there's some bullshit that goes with it because it's the military, and there's always bullshit in the military. It's part of being in the military. You just deal with fucking bullshit. Yeah, so let's go ahead and find out what kind of persecution Onision had to deal with while in the Air Force. Seriously, I imagine this is going to be absolutely fascinating.
A lot of people would like you to believe that the Air Force is just a typical job, and that is complete and utter bullshit.
Now, I'm not actually sure what would make anyone think that the Air Force is a typical job. I mean, I guess it's more typical than the Army or the Marine Corps or something, but it's still a branch of the military, and you still are going to be in the military. All right, if you wanted a typical job, you go turn in an application at Starbucks, become a barista, and then you can, you know, talk to people, make coffee, and that's a typical job. You can go get a job at Home Depot. That's a typical job. Join a union. That's a typical job. But when you go and you enlist in the military, that's not a typical job, bro. You know, only 0.5% of Americans even enlist right now. That's not typical. That's not typical. That's 1 out of 200. So I don't know what made you think the Air Force was a typical job. You know, any branch of the military, you have one job, and that job is to kill. Literally, that's what the military's for. It's not Starbucks.
When I was in the Air Force, I cut my own hair a lot because a lot of people in the Air Force are absolute psychopaths when it comes to your haircuts. If your hair even comes remotely close to your ear, especially in security forces, many individuals in the supervisory roles will flip their shit on you.
Well, he's absolutely right, folks. In the military, you are actually required to cut your hair. Shit. Yeah, you know, I thought that was a given. I thought that was like a known thing. Like, you knew before you were enlisting that once you were in the military, you had to cut your hair to their standard, not necessarily your standard. So I'm not really seeing why we're complaining about this, Onision.
One of the many unprofessional things that my training instructor did was isolated a few airmen, and then with one of her military friends, order us to assume degrading positions while she laughed at us. The position basically involved us laying on our backs and putting our legs and our arms up in the air kind of like this. With her authority, she forced us to maintain this position as she continued to mock us and dehumanize us.
Oh my God. Seriously, I had no idea. I really had no idea that the Air Force conducted corrective training. In basic training, no less. They corrective train and they yell at you and mock you. They say mean things. Oh my God. How unprofessional.
Throughout my experience, I saw airmen break down in tears, crying hysterically because of how these allegedly brave, honorable individuals had treated them. In fact, the first night of basic, I spent a good amount of time comforting one of the airmen because he was crying so hysterically due to the poor treatment.
Okay, I get it. They yelled at you at basic training. They were mean to you. They yelled at you all the time. You couldn't do anything right. You couldn't do nothing at all. Everything you did was wrong and you got yelled at it or smoked for it. Different people have different breaking points. I've seen people cry, in basic training. I saw people cry. We had guys crying, like literally grown-ass fucking men crying because there was a tornado one night. And they were just all teary-eyed and they thought they were going to die. It was the scariest shit they'd ever experienced ever in their life. I've seen men cry because their wall locker got dumped over. I've seen men cry for all kinds of reasons. And you know what I think? I kind of think they're bitches.
After basic, I went right into Sere, and one of the first things they did was fill a bunch of backpacks full of gravel and have us try to walk 4 miles in under an hour.
Now, I'm not gonna lie. I initially didn't believe that when I heard that claim that he went to Sere School directly out of basic training. I wanted to call bullshit on that, but I looked at the United States Air Force website, and it turns out that you actually can attend Sere School directly out of basic training. In his case, in Onion's case here, or Oniisan, he was training to become cadre for Sere School. So yeah, he had to attend. You can't just be cadre and not go.
They also had us put on these backpacks full of gravel, and they told us to walk through a swamp in Texas.
I'm not really sure why we're complaining about the backpack. Okay, I get it. It's 75 pounds, but that's the requirement, 75 pounds. And as for the 4 miles, I had to carry a backpack for 4 miles. Yeah, 15-minute miles is the standard. I don't know. Actually, you don't even want to do 15-minute miles. You want to do like 12-minute miles, because that way every hour you can change your socks out and not have like nasty, horrible blisters and stuff.
And the cadre had the airmen fill their canteens up with swamp water, of course forcing them to drink that.
Oh my God. Did you hear that? Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape School, and he's learning to survive. They're learning how to purify water and use what's there. Seriously, what's next? He's going to complain that they ate bugs and foraged for food?
The cadre didn't verify that the swamp didn't have venomous snakes in it, and because I was ahead of everyone, I was only saved from getting bitten by a venomous snake because one of the airmen behind me screamed out for me to stop before I walked right into one.
Dude, is this guy for real? Seriously? He thought he was going to go train in the wilderness and there wouldn't be any indigenous life.
Shortly after this time, one of the airmen literally disappeared under the water. Additionally, for some reason, the cadre didn't think to themselves, do you think it would be stupid if we put 70-pound bags of rocks on these airmen's backs and then put them in a swamp that at certain points gets deeper than they are tall?
Seriously, though, it's time to find something else to complain about. If your biggest complaint is that you had to carry a rucksack that weighed about 70 pounds, he keeps bringing it up. He keeps bringing up the backpack. Oh my God, I had to carry a rucksack, and it was so heavy. It was so heavy, guys. It was totally heavy. It had all my gear in it, and I had to carry it everywhere. So that's why I hate the Air Force. My rucksack was totally heavy.
And Sere training eventually came to the point where I was going to have to kill a rabbit.
Oh my God, I knew this was gonna happen.
Eventually came to the point where I was going to have to kill a rabbit. I was thinking to myself, am I really willing to kill an animal, skin it, all for the sake of these assholes? And of course I thought to myself, no, I can't do that. I had seen how incompetent the cadre were. I had seen how incompetent the training instructors in basic could be. So why the hell would I kill a rabbit for them? And so I told them that I didn't want to be part of Sere.
You know what? I think it's a great idea. I should probably go join the Air Force and like pick a career that I'm not willing to do anything in. Maybe I could become a mechanic and then I could just sit there and complain that I don't like grease on my hands, I don't like wearing mechanic gloves, and I don't like using tools. And because I don't like any of these things, I should absolutely 100% positively, without doubt, be fucking exempt from doing my job.
Unfortunately, in the military, you're not a free person. If anything, you're much closer to a slave. An example of what I mean by this is I actually had to ask permission to get fucking married. I had to go to my supervisor and ask him when it would be convenient for him for me to get married. And you know how that fucking douchebag reacted to me? As if he wasn't even gonna let me get married. He was basically dangling me like a puppet, saying, fuck you, Airman. You don't get to have a life outside the Air Force. I had already been living on base for months. I had only been off base once, because when you're in training, there's often little to no opportunity for you to see the outside world.
Holy shit. He wants me to feel sorry for him because he wasn't able to get married while in basic training or his initial training, Sere School, whatever the fuck. He wasn't even at his first duty station. He's whining that while in training, he can't get married. No fucking shit, dude. But seriously, why would he want to get married? Why would anyone be concerned about getting married while training?
Because guess what, people? When you're single in the Air Force, a lot of times, once you get off work, guess where you get to go? Fucking work. You go from work to work to work to work to work.
Honestly, that says so much about him. That says so much about his character right there. His whole complaint, his whole reason for getting married, according to this, is to get out of fucking work. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it sucks being in the military, especially living in the barracks. It is a fucking shitty lifestyle. They always want you to clean the barracks and shit. Clean your home, soldier. But hey, whatever. It's your home. You gotta clean it. And I can totally see that because I used to sit there and be like, man, all the guys that are married are going home right now, and I have to stay here and do details. This is dumb. But I never tried to get married to get out of those details. That's fucking stupid.
Someone wanted to know about my Air Force experience. I was actually in the Air Force for years. I literally just gave you this massive list of complaints. And so far, I've mostly only talked about the shit that went down within the first couple months.
There you go. There you have it. Now we know why Oniisan's Air Force experience was so fucking shitty. It wasn't a normal job. He was required to have a haircut. There was corrective training. People yelled at him. He had to go to survival school, although he wanted to go to survival school. His rucksack was heavy. There were snakes and shit out in the wilderness. He had to fucking do survival skills, like, you know, forage for food and stuff. His rucksack was heavy. It was hard to get married while in basic training. And, you know, he had to get married to get out of fucking work. Also, his rucksack was heavy. There you have it. I'm not trying to look down on Oniisan or say that he isn't a good person. I mean, he served his time. He did his deal. I personally think he should have not joined the military. And I believe that, I actually believe you should be allowed to quit the military, like, within a couple of weeks of joining once you realize that, you're a fucking pussy. Look, the military life isn't for everybody. If you're going to join the military, do yourself a favor. Find out what you're getting into. Don't be that guy. Don't be the guy that shows up thinking he's not going to be turned into a trained fucking killer. Don't be the guy that shows up for Sere School thinking that he's going to somehow be exempt from learning survival skills. Don't be that guy. Just don't be that guy. Fucking do your research, learn what you're up to. Anyways, I want to say thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. Give me a like if you enjoyed the video. I mean, if you didn't like it, then like leave a comment and be like, you know, your video fucking sucked or whatever. This is actually the very first video I've made. So it's been quite the process. It's like 12:30 in the morning right now, and I've been at this since 8 a.m. I had planned that I would do 4 videos today, and I've only done 1. But I guess that's what you can expect when you have absolutely no idea what you're doing. Anyways, subscribe to my channel, please, and thank you so much for watching.